Welcome, guys. I hope you can hear me. Let me know, guys, if you hear me, if you're here in general, then I can start this live stream. This should definitely be smoother than my last attempt for the reaction, but this is not a reaction, so this should be okay, I think. Let me know, guys. I'm gonna wait a little longer until until there's a lot more people, or until there's a couple more people right here. Otherwise, I will just keep repeating myself, which is not really that fun to watch. 3 people now. Let's wait a little more until some more people come in. I don't know exactly if this is a good timing for you guys. I thought first to do it tonight, because right now in Belgium it's 5 p.m. and I was first thinking about doing it tonight because then it's perhaps easier for the guys that watch from the United States and such, but then it's perhaps not that handy for the people living in Europe, the fans of Nightwish, because that would be like around 11 p.m. And I mean, some people have to work, of course, tomorrow. So that's why I'm doing it at this point in time. Let's see. I'm planning to live stream until 6 p.m. Around that time. Not too much longer than that, as I still have to give some classes later tonight. And yeah, originally my plan was to do it on Sunday, so yesterday. But I kind of forgot that it was Father's Day here in Belgium yesterday, so I spent time with my parents and my father, of course. Guys, can you hear me actually? Because I don't see any sign of you guys, except for I see a couple of people watching, but do you guys hear me? Let me know in the comments if you do. I mean, if you don't hear me, you probably don't understand what I'm saying. 5 people right now. Let me know something, guys. As long as I don't see a sign of life, don't really see the need to start giving my thoughts. Get on in here, guys. Get on in here. I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes. If by minute 10 there's not 10 people here, then I will just start at 10 minutes. But until that point, I mean, I have some time right now. I'm not in a hurry, but I don't know if you guys are. And of course, you can ask me questions as well. You can give your thoughts too. I was trying a bit of the setup like I do usually, but it's not usually with my laptop. It's usually my, oops, there goes my phone. It's usually my other camera that is filming, of course. Let me see. That should be better. And of course, the video quality will not be the same as it's usually with my other camera. But this is already a little bit more like it's usually. Not too much light though. Let me go down a little bit. Yes, I guess that's better. 5 people, 4. Come on, guys. I'm still waiting for a couple more to begin. I mean, everybody can watch this afterwards as well, but it's not really that interesting to watch half an hour of me waiting, right? I hope you guys are doing okay, by the way. Still 2 more minutes. I'm gonna wait 2 more minutes, then we're gonna begin. I'm curious, guys, where are you guys from? Let me know. No comments so far. One more minute. Then let's talk about this album. I'm going to begin in 30 seconds. I have a feeling not too many people are going to join. It's okay, though. We'll start anyways. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes of me waiting a bit, so let's see. Perhaps you guys can come in further on during the live stream. But yeah, hi guys, Yuri here again. Welcome to YBPlaysMusic. Today I'm going to give my thoughts on the Nightwish album Human Nature, which I have done reactions to the whole album actually. I started back in, I think it's over 4 months ago since I began reacting to every song on the album, and it's been quite a journey, actually. I finished it 2 weeks ago by reacting and listening to the whole second CD, which is Nature. Um, I'm gonna give some thoughts on every song on the album in its entirety. You guys can ask questions as well. I want to know what you guys think about the album. What are your favorite ones and favorite songs and such, or your favorite aspects of the album? Currently, this is the only full album that I reacted to on my channel. Not only from Nightwish, but it's in whatever artist or musician. This is the first full album that I reacted to, and actually it was a lot of fun. It took a lot of time because those songs from Nightwish always ask a bit for a bit preparation because of the meaning behind the songs. It gives always more value when you know what the songs are about, I think. Even though I'm actually kind of a person that prioritizes everything that has to do with the music and the musical aspect of the songs, and the lyrics for me come secondary. But nonetheless, it gives more meaning to the songs. That's definitely the case. So where to start, actually? Yeah, perhaps with the first video I reacted to, which was Noise. So you might ask, that's not the first song on the CD. And yeah, you're correct. So the journey started by some people requested to react to Noise, specifically because it's actually a video clip, and the other songs on the album were I mean, there were music videos, but it was not a music video in the sense of the band members being in there. It was, the other songs were lyric videos. And Noise was the first one that I reacted to because I was, during my previous Nightwish reactions, I was actually thinking about reacting to some of their newer stuff, because I said to you guys, I haven't seen a lot of their newest songs, specifically from this new album. And so you guys suggested to me to watch the video of Noise. And I didn't know yet if I would react to the whole album. So I assumed, okay, that is the song that is most requested, so I will react to that one. And that one sparkled my interest, which made me decide to react to the whole album. Also, a couple of you guys from the Nightwish Army suggested to me to react to the whole thing. And I thought this might be a fun journey to do so, and I'm very glad I did. I had a lot of awesome interactions with you guys. It was awesome learning about these songs, the meaning behind the songs. But yeah, so Noise was the first because of that reason. And when I reacted to it, of course, like, I didn't really get the whole meaning behind the song or the album yet after the first song. And what is so I mean, this is my thought after hearing the whole album, of course. What is a strong point for Nightwish, I think, in this album is the connection between all the songs and the whole album. Not the songs on their own are very powerful and very strong, but the references to other songs in the album and the connection makes it even more impressive, I would say. So yeah, Noise was the first one. Then the second one that I did was actually the first song on the album, being Music, and that was also the longest on the whole album, I think. I'm pretty sure that was like 8 minutes and a couple of seconds, and that was actually when I was fully into the vibe of this album. Music really got me amped up for this entire album. Um, and then I followed along throughout the whole album, and I did one song every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, I did the next song on the album. So starting actually with Noise, then Music, and so 2 weeks after that, I reacted to Shoemaker. And one song after another just impressed me in some way, but most of them had something totally different than one another. Uh, but still, I could hear it being Nightwish. They have something so special, I think, and it's not without reason that they're my favorite band so far, right? So I'm gonna give my favorite, or let's say my top 3 songs on the first CD, and then perhaps my top 3 in the second CD as well. I think it's hard to combine my favorite songs from both CDs, being Human and then Nature, because it's a totally different. I mean, it's instrumental, the second CD, which makes it very hard to compare. But first, guys, let me plug in my laptop, because otherwise battery will go low in a minute. So yeah, that should be fixed. Okay, but that's it. Also, I'm gonna give some aspects to which to each song. For example, each song has its strong points, of course, and what it stands out for. So for every aspect, I'm gonna give my favorite song for that aspect. Let's say, I don't know how to say it actually in a better way. But first, let me say my favorite song from the album, and I mentioned it a couple of times during the videos, is Pan. Pan is my favorite song from the album. I mean, I'm right now talking about the first CD, being Human. So my favorite one is Pan. I'm gonna explain in a second why that is, and why I like it that much. And then for second and third place, I mean, first, second, and third place actually were really close. I was really not sure in the beginning which one was my favorite of these 3, but Pan turned out to be my favorite one. And then a very close second would be Shoemaker, and then a very close third would be Music. I think. Hi, Green Lion. Yeah, I think Pan is an awesome song. But like I said, like Shoemaker and Music were also like really up there for me. I mean, I didn't really know what I was expecting, because I knew a couple of songs of Nightwish, of course, because it was already my favorite band before I listened to this album. But I didn't really know what to expect with this album. My favorite song from Nightwish is The Greatest Show on Earth, which was from the previous album. And I thought, like, I don't know, how can they top that? And I mean, Pan, it doesn't yet top The Greatest Show on Earth, I think. But I mean, I really love that song. So those three are actually my favorites. Let me know in the comments, guys, what your favorite song on the first CD is. Then later on in the live stream, I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about the second CD and what my favorite parts in those were. Because I mean, could you call them separate songs? Because it's actually one big piece of symphonic music, cinematic music that is just divided in different parts. Like you have different parts in The Greatest Show on Earth, in The Poet and the Pendulum. You have different parts in that, and I see the whole second CD as something like that, as an entire piece, but you have different parts. It blends together. Now, I'm gonna say from each song. Oh no, I'm gonna do it differently. Let's say, what aspects are there to these songs? So I said that Pan is my favorite song from the album, and why is that? It's a combination of things. Um, yeah, you could go back and forth on these songs being your favorite ones. I listened to all of them actually, but why is Pan my favorite? I think there is so much variety, but it's such a, first of all, it starts off so strong, so epic. The beginning is very epic, I think, and it's not that long of a beginning, but it's fits. It just works, I think. Then they shift dynamics, so it goes from a little bit toned down, I would say, to more amped up. The energy switches from now and then, but overall, it's one of the harder songs on the album. Which, I mean, it's not that surprising because it's still a metal band, but a symphonic one in that part. So that is one reason. I love the beginning, and I love the switching between the dynamics, but also musically, there is so much. What I also appreciate is when somebody writes a song. It should be pretty easy to listen to, I think. I mean, a lot of the times when it's easy to listen to, it's easy to love a song, I think. And whilst that's also true, I love it when musicians or componists like Thomas write songs, and at certain points they surprise you. They go in a way you would not expect, which could make it sometimes kind of uncomfortable. But that's just what I love about this song. There are certain parts in Pan that have a twist in between, sometimes major and minor keys, right after each other, or in the melody have a twist that you don't really expect to be there. But it's so nice to have this variety in that song. Love the strong, powerful guitars right in there, combined with the drums. Also, there's a lot of double drum basses in there, in that song as well. But also they have stops in there, instrumental parts. Also, the beginning, I love the beginning, and I compared that to, it reminded me of a fairy tale like intro. The beginning, without the guitars yet, reminded me of a track in Beauty and the Beast, the cartoon, back in the day. And I love that part of it. But then after the first chorus of Pan, you would expect the intro to come back, but it doesn't. It's another piece in between that before the second verse starts, and they switch it up a lot. And I mean, you don't have to switch up just to be. I can't I can't speak right now. You don't have to switch up a song just for the case of switching it up. Um, but I like that way, or the way they handled Pan in that. That said, the reason that Shoemaker and music are so close for me as a second and third place, Shoemaker, I think, first of all, the story is very intriguing and is, in my opinion, it's not really, in my opinion, the most impactful story of the whole album, even though it's close. But it's, I think, the most impressive story because it's based on a real story. That is what I love about that. First of all, also the whole ending of Shoemaker is just, I think, the most epic ending of all the songs on this CD. Shoemaker, the way that ends, I was just that was blowing my mind. I said that was kind of a movie track. That ending that was so cinematic, and I get goosebumps just talking about it right now as well. So that end, I love that. I love the beginning as well, and I love the melody of Floor. The only thing that I would say in Shoemaker that I had to get used to, and they have that in a couple of other songs sometimes as well with the lyrics, is that the intonation of their words in English are different than what you would expect. They're not like when you would speak to somebody and you use these words, the intonation is different. The way they use it sometimes in the lyrics, like in Shoemaker, that is the case. And I think in How's the Heart, there are also a couple of examples there where it's a little bit of a strange intonation of some words that I had to get used to. But aside from that, I mean, that is a killer song and gives you goosebumps every time. Certainly, when the woman starts to speak, the vibe, the mood changes totally when she starts to speak in this kind of more dark way. And then Floor starts with the operatic singing Laudato and then Ad Astra. That just blew my mind. I just got totally carried away in that point in time. Green Lion, I was hoping for some Floor operatics on the album and was so thrilled at Shoemaker's. Yeah, I had the same feeling when she was doing that. I was just so amped. That she's so good at that. I mean, she's good at everything that she's doing, but she's so strong in that. Now then you have music, and well, music has a lot of variety in it, and I actually since the beginning that I start to listen to Nightwish, I tend to prefer their longer songs as my favorite ones, because longer songs tend to have a lot of variety and a lot of different parts in it. And music also has a lot of different aspects to it. It's not their longest, far from it, but it's not a short one either. So music, the way it starts, gave me a good introduction about how the album would continue, I think. Now, afterwards, after having heard the whole album, the way all these sounds, tribal sounds, which is also a song, Tribal, made their way into this song and showed me, okay, this is going to be an introduction to what is music and how it evolved during human history, right? And I loved all the sounds that they used in the beginning of this song, building up towards the symphonic parts that really also got me amped. And guys, if you haven't seen my reactions to these songs, the links are all in the description down below. So definitely check those if you want to see my reaction to those songs. But I love the variation in the song music, different sounds in there. It's actually a kind of a bit of the total package in this album. So again, guys, my number one is Pan. Second, very close, Shoemaker, and a very close third, Music. Now, I should say I love all the songs on the album. I listened to all of them multiple times. Another thing that another thing that I loved about Music and Pan is that they are both about artistic imagination and creativity, very Nightwish themes. Yeah, indeed. That's what I love about Nightwish in general, but indeed in those songs it really comes to the foreground, that creativity. That is certainly, if you like the melody in Pan gives sometimes an uncomfortable feeling because it sounds a little more how would you say it? Not I don't know how the word is. I mean, the melody sometimes gives a twist that makes you feel uncomfortable a little bit. But that is just the feeling that they want you to have. So they really are. They really succeeded in their or in that. All the songs have their strong points, in my opinion. So, for example, "How's the Heart," which is the 6th track on the album, was actually the first song that I heard on the album. It was not the first that I reacted to, but "How's the Heart" was actually the first that I listened to. But that was even before I started making reaction videos in its as a whole. So that was actually just when the album came out, I think, with that live version of Floor and Troy. That was the first version that I saw. But with "How's the Heart," for example, that song, I think, probably has my favorite melody of the album. I mean, the voice melody. I think that might be my favorite melody of the album. I think so. Also, what is very nice in "How's the Heart" in the official video is the ending. That really surprised me the first time that I heard it, because I've never heard somebody in Nightwish sing low before I heard that song. And I first heard the live version, which was incredible. Definitely with the key change at the end, where Floor is just going all out, and with Troy doing the guitar that I had never seen before that video, and doing the second voice. But then when I heard the official version, I was so surprised and blown away by the last part in which they sing an a cappella piece. and it starts with just Floor doing the main vocals and some humming in the background. Then another voice comes in as a backing vocal, and then there's a third voice that drops down really low, that I cannot reach at all. And I was like, oh my God, that is crazy. I'd never heard that before. So that is also something that I really love about How's the Heart. Also, the message in that song is really, I mean, I was about to say relatable, but it's actually more sympathetic. Like, we don't ask enough, how are you? No, seriously, how are you? Are you feeling okay? Like, a lot of the times we have this work mindset, and don't think too much about other people sometimes, and actually we should. I think that's a little bit of the message in there. Then we have, I mean, that's the sixth track actually on the album. And I didn't talk yet about Harvest. That is, in my opinion, probably I was about to say the most surprising song on the album. Hey, Renske, that's Troy. He can go really low. You should check out Ori, the band. The bar song, he goes really, really low. Floor fan, greetings from Germany. Hi there, Floor fan. It's not Floor fan. Yeah, I heard it was Troy. That is crazy. I didn't know he could sing that low. But that's it. So Harvests, in my opinion, is the most surprising song of the album. And also, I think the song that is the least, I mean, if you say the band, or if somebody mentions the band Nightwish, you have some kind of idea what genre it is. And that song is I think the least metal from the whole album. Even though the last part is really builds up, but that was the furthest away from their usual genre, I would say. So I love that surprise in that song. The vibe was totally different as well. Hi there, Roberto. Roberto from Brazil. Welcome. Guys, if you just come in right now, I already have given some thoughts before. You will have the chance to watch this afterwards, of course, but I'm not done yet. I plan on streaming for 15 to 20 minutes still. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Harvest. It has a more uplifting tone, I think, as well, and that's a welcome vibe at that point in the album, because some of the songs are a little bit more, I would say, not really depressing, but not really uplifting either. I mean, uplifting. I was amped up by a lot of symphonic parts, but it's not really a happy feel, let's say, total all of the times. But somehow very Nightwishy, exactly. So yeah, then the fifth track was, of course, Pan, my favorite one. I actually didn't say what I thought about Noise, because that was the first one that I reacted to. Uplifting tone, but ironically about accident of our morality. Yeah, mortality. Yeah, like the tone gave it a little bit different. Accepting our mortality. Well, it is actually kind of an optimistic tone, indeed. I mean, accepting it is actually a good thing, I think. It's when you're not accepting it that it's really depressing, I think. So accepting it should be more uplifting, I think. Now, that said, Noise, the first one that I reacted to, was the only video clip. And I think from the whole album, that is my favorite one to include on a workout playlist, I think. I mean, it's not really what Nightwish has as a goal when they write songs. Let's make a song that works on a workout playlist. Not really that, but I love the energetic aspects of this song, the aggressive tone in that as well, and the message. You really feel the frustration towards some of the misuse of technology these days, social media and such, that can be very toxic when it's used too much, when it's an addict to a lot of people, let's say. So love the song for that reason, for those reasons. So I've said some things about music, Noise, Shoemaker, Harvest, Pan, How's the Heart. Oh, in Shoemaker, and also a reference that is in there. Noise makes me ride my bike really fast. Yeah, exactly. And that's how you know it's a good song to include on your playlist. But with Shoemaker at the end, when she says Ad Astra, it's ironical that also Ad Astra is the last part of the second CD and the last track of the whole entire album, of course. But we're going to talk about it in a minute. Then after How's the Heart, we have track 7 being Possession. And I think Possession has the most impactful story of the album. I think that has the most impactful story. I also, when I reacted to it and searched for the meaning behind the song and analyzed it, that was also the first one that I really did a full analysis after I watched the video, and that was so intriguing to see. Floor said in an interview, the next album will be heavy but remains Nightwish. Okay, very interested. I mean, they have so many albums already over these decades. Really curious which way they're gonna take in this one. Very moving. Yeah, indeed. So Possession is indeed very moving, and I saw some people commenting that Floor got a bit emotional sometimes when singing that song or talking about that song. I don't know, but it's really impactful, I think, that song. Also, the choices that they make about including lines about humans, that is they use that in different songs. When they mention along came Sapien, or when something about the humans is there, the mood totally changes to something more dramatic or aggressive or more kind of dark, negative vibe, which is what you feel throughout the whole album, actually, which is what Noise is about a bit as well, because it's all man-made, of course. But you feel the darker vibe when it's about humans, specifically when they're singing. So yeah, that about Possession. Then Tribal is definitely the hardest song on the album. and it's the shortest, but it's definitely the hardest song on the album. And surprisingly, I love this one actually, because most of the times I prefer melodic melodies, of course. But there's a lot, when there's a lot of melody and there's a lot of harmony, I would prefer that mostly over over something that is more monotone, let's say. And in tribal, there are some parts that stay at one certain chord, or stay at a certain key, which you would think is not that interesting, but because of the vibe that it's giving off and the choices of the instruments, the message comes across. There's a certain part in which the guitar is just shredding these chords, but I think it's only one chord at a certain point, but it's very hard. You will see it if in my reaction if you haven't. But it's really a hard song, but I mean, I love it for some reason. Did you also notice the book Het ontstaan der soorten in the music video for Possession, the Dutch version? Somebody mentioned that indeed. I don't remember if it was you, Renske, that mentioned that in the comment section. But I remember indeed the book that was in the music video. That the title of that said Het ontstaan der soorten. Indeed. I'm curious whose decision that was. I mean, Floor must have had an influence in that, I assume. Not sure though. So yeah. Also, Tribal was in its entirety a darker vibe, very dark vibe, sinister vibe. Done for Floor. Oh yeah. Well, it had to have something to do with Floor, of course. I mean, as she is the only one from the Netherlands originally, from the band, I believe. And then we have at last Endlessness. And this, of course, also was a special one. And for a lot of you, was also a very special one. Because this is the last song in which Marco sings the lead. And we all know he exited Nightwish. When was the go? Like 1.5 years? 2 years? How long has it been? 1 to 2 years? I don't know. That he has left Nightwish. I think it's almost 2 years right now. So it's very sentimental in that way. But also, what I think about Endlessness, this is the song on the album with not the most impactful story, but it's something you cannot really fathom. It's a subject that is so vast, it's almost abstract. It's about time, right? And time is a thief. But you cannot really comprehend what it's about, and that is what really intrigues me about that song. I already got goosebumps again talking about that. It just grabs you because of the vastness of this subject, timing, or not time in general. I don't remember. Also, I've watched too much reaction videos. Yeah, probably. Beginning of 21. Yeah, I thought so. So sad. Yeah, indeed. It was and also because the meaning of this song is a pretty dark subject, it's even more emotional that we know Marco sings this. He told the band in late 20. Yeah. That's right. So that is the first CD about, I mean, human. All right. Then we have the second CD, and I decided that was kind of a bummer that I wasn't able to really fix the problems that I had during the live stream. So I did a reaction to the whole thing afterwards. And it was the best decision. And I'm sorry to you guys that were joining me on the live stream right there and trying to help me. But it was the best decision to do it like we eventually did. And I didn't really know what to expect because I hadn't heard anything from Nightwish instrumentally, fully instrumental tracks, even though there is some talking in some of the parts and some vocals, but not lyrics sung, if that makes sense. So it starts with Vista. First of all, this whole piece in its entirety is a masterpiece, I think. It's so well made up. It's so well connected. I actually prefer listening to the whole thing than in separate parts. And one of the things that I love also is the return of certain melodies or certain riffs in different parts, but variations of different parts. So in Vista, we start with seeing, I reacted to the fan-made video, which is approved by Thomas, I believe. And this guy did such a great job on this video. I love that. And all the scenery that he uses, the images were very well chosen, very fitting for the music. And you sometimes would have forgotten that the images were chosen for the music and not the other way around. But that's it. So Vista starts with all these landscapes, all these cinematic views. Very nice beginning. Very nice intro to this whole second CD. Then when it goes over to the second part, being Blue, the transition to that is very nice. Has some choir sounds in the background doing that, and changes the mood, changes the key as well, kind of. And then you have this melody of the Blue. And this is a melody that also returns a couple of times in different ways. I don't remember how. It's something like something like that. But it returns a couple of times later on in different parts as well. And it's about the sea, of course. We see everything in the about life in sea. And then when it goes over into the green, it fits, of course. It's about nature and everything plant-based. The sounds of that really represent that very good. But the melody in that is already a variation kind of the C, but it's double speed. So in the C we have this, and in the green you have it's more speedy, and the tone could be different. I don't know, guys, but it's a variation of the same riff that we hear in the Blue. And I didn't really hear that until like a couple of times I listened already to it. Love the vibe in that. And then after that one, Moors, that is for sure one of my favorite parts of the second CD. This is where the pipes come in from Troy. This has a totally different vibe. A little bit more, how would you say? I mean, it's very fitting as well. Like, it's more to the Irish feel, I think. Also, because the nature that we see in the video, there are some parts from Scotland, which is, of course, Great Britain, but also some parts, I think, from Ireland or such. It looks that way. I saw the Isle of Skye in there, and suddenly the vibe changes, and the colors changed, and it was a very dark mood, or a more dark mood than before. And wouldn't you know, the riff that we hear was again a variation of the blue, the same speed as before. It wasn't faster. It was almost the same melody, but with some subtle differences. But it was a variation on that. Let me first, before I go on, read a little bit of these comments of you guys. I was shouting answers on your questions at the screen during the live stream. Yeah, sorry. It was good, and it was good though, even without the chat. You wondered about the Stonehenge type structure. It's also in Iceland. Iceland fanatic here. Well, I've been in Iceland as well, and that is just an amazing country. The Stonehenge type structure, but Stonehenge is in Great Britain, not in Iceland. I mean, except if there's another monument in Iceland kind of like that, but I have never seen that. And I've toured all around Iceland, seen the whole island, so I haven't seen that. So Patri Rotier, I can't even pronounce your name, Patri, sorry. Agree. Human Nature, wait, no. HM, second disc. HM? Don't you mean HN? Human Nature, second disc is definitely a listen from start to end in one go. Masterpiece. Yeah, I agree. Green Line. Green is my favorite song along. Yeah, wouldn't you know? Green Line, his favorite part is green. Figure that. With Quiet as the Snow. Yeah, I think those two are pretty similar, actually. For some reason, green always makes me tear up. And it's very interesting that we see in the video the morning dew on the grass and that as well. And that looks almost like tears from nature. Renske, I love listening to this whole piece in one go during gardening on my headphones. I feel you, Green Line. Yeah. Oh yeah, typo. Okay, I thought so, Pitri. So yeah, so after or towards the end of Moors, we have first this part with Troy's pipes, and then I'm already going over the time that I said. Troy's part with the pipes, very menacing vibe there, and I love the scenery as well. It's so fitting for this, and it's in Iceland. It's filmed in Iceland. I recognized it right away. You can't really miss it. If you've ever been in Iceland, you would have noticed. But yeah, that part, I love that. When the tone changed and went back to the melody of the blue, the mood changes totally. But after a while, it gets back to the same melody with the pipes as before. And then after that, the mood changes to something more epic, but a little bit of a tease to the last part being Ad Astra, because that melody also is used in Moors before. Yes, there are stone pillars in the video. You wondered where they were, but they are in Iceland and are nicknamed Stonehenge of Iceland. Really? I haven't seen that when I was in Iceland. I'd have to look that up. Do you know the exact name of that monument? I would love to look that up, actually. How could I have missed that? But yeah, so that's what I love. That Morse has actually a couple of different parts in itself. Then it goes over to which is Aurorea, I think, which is of course the northern or southern lights, and it's of course very beautiful to look at. And the melody of the it sounds like some kind of harp. I think, I don't know if it is, but it sounds like a harp, that melody. um, I think it fits very well, and at a certain point it just breaks loose, and the horns and the whole orchestra just gives this big symphonic part, and that really stands out to me. Really powerful piece there. um, and then after that very strong part, it goes over to Quiet as the Snow, uh, I think. And like Green Lion said before here in the chat, um, together with Green, these are his favorite ones. And I kind of see why, because the mood of both is pretty similar. I would say you could mistake those two for one another. Because I think for the most part, if you play the one on the other video or switch them up, it would, for a big part, actually work as well. I think, even though some parts in Green really give the vibe as of Blossom and life thriving in greenery, and Quiet as the Snow really embraces the quietness of nature. If you have ever been in a snowy area, in a snowy forest, for example, far away from any city or town, and you just stand still or sit for a moment and listen, there's almost no sound. And that is so fragile, as so a nice feeling. And then when you start walking just to hear the crackling of the snow, that is just a soothing feeling, I think. And they portrayed that very good in the music as well as using some of the instruments that really make you how would I say it, visualize snow or snow crystals falling down, snowflakes falling down. The choices of some instruments that they use are perfectly here. Let me see. Clemens, Tremens, wild guess. I think Irene loaned the Origin of Species book from her work. As you can see on the cover, Arnhem Nijmegen mentioned. Wait, Clemens, what do you mean exactly? I think Irene loaned the Origin of Species book from her work. To which song is this a reference? I'm not sure. Green Lion, this is Northern Iceland. I will have to look that up sometime. That said, so Quiet as the Snow has really this fragile but soothing feeling, I think. And that's why probably Green is also a bit similar, because you also have the soothing feeling, but in a different way. The peacefulness of nature and hearing the birds chirp and the sounds of nature, but then you have the quietness of the snow, which is also very peaceful, and just as is very soothing, I think. Then it goes over into some whispering in the background that you hear, and I thought, when I heard it for the first time, I was first thinking, is my mind playing tricks on me, or do I hear some French in there? I wasn't sure actually, but somebody confirmed me then that there was French in there, but there are different languages apparently. But it says in different languages, quiet as the snow, which is in French, silence comme de la neige, something like that. So that was a very nice touch on that. Then it goes over into sorry, I forgot the name of Archie. Let me see, guys. I forgot. Ante. Let's see. Oh, come on. Anthropocene. Yeah, that's by far the hard from the whole album. That's the hardest name of the song, Anthropocene. So this is apparently about the period that humans came around, or that's what I think. When humans came around and started giving their influence on nature, what they did to nature, and it has again a little bit of a darker tone when it comes to the music. There, a very fitting vibe there. Also, when it changes to a more totally different feel suddenly, which is the change towards science, kind of, and it fits as well. Very good. Don't have much else to say about that, but also, yeah, I was about to say in Anthropocene, there is also a part again where the melody of the blue returns, but in a different way. If you listen to it, the same melody comes back again. Let me see if I can find it here on my phone. The melody in that. I don't know if you guys can hear. Let's see. It's a very sinister vibe, but it's not here that I want to get to. Let's see. This part. This is the part that we recognize from the blue as well. Here. Yeah, so this is the melody that gets back again, that we recognize from the beginning there. And then we go to that sciencey part, which is it's almost kind of funny how it sounds, but it fits very well because it sounds kind of delicate. Funny, but delicate. And then nonetheless, it goes over into Ad Astra. And this is by far my favorite part of the whole second CD. This is just an epic conclusion to the whole album. I love that part, and this sits in my mind all of the time. I have tried to play it on the piano as well because I love the melody. I love the vibe, change in the key, the words she speaks during this part. I love that, and because in the first part, Vista, she speaks a little bit, and those words are really impactful, I think. Then towards the end, she does that again, and it really has an impact. And after which, it really breaks loose, and Floor starts to giving the operatic melody with her voice, which we have heard at the end of the part in Moors. But in Moors, it was with the piano, and now it's first in the instruments, and then it's Floor that continues that melody towards the end, and it's just one epic piece until the end. That is I love that part. Let's see. Possession for the book. Oh yeah. Thanks. An origin of species ontstaan. Dus yeah. Okay, yeah. I get it. Sorry, I wasn't really linking it together. Welcome to Finland's winter wonderland. Yeah, I mean, Quiet as a Snow really reminds you of some parts in probably Finland, Lapland, somewhere in Scandinavia actually. Nothing beats the quietness in snow forests you just described. Yeah, that is just a totally unique feeling. It is mesmerizing even for us Finns. Then add some northern lights, aka aurora borealis. Oh my god, yeah, I can really imagine. I want to see that someday. I have been to Iceland, but that was in the summer, and northern lights are not visible in summer, of course. So yeah, but the days are longer. Lenske, Arctic henge in Noord-IJsland. I will look that up. Thanks. We hear that sciencey part is the oldest known written music. Yeah, it's based on the oldest song ever written, the hymn, the Hurrian hymn of Nikal. But yeah, I've listened to it before, but I didn't really recognize it, even though it's based on it. But I would have to listen to that old song again. Perhaps I would recognize it now after I have listened to the whole album. But yeah, so Ad Astra is really my favorite one, and then the second favorite one from the second CD is Morse. Definitely. Don't really know if I would be. Perhaps I would say Quiet as a Snow might actually be my third favorite. Not sure though. Not entirely sure, but it might be. So yeah, that was it, guys. The whole entire album. What I also love about this, like the words that were said in the first part being Vista, where she said like, I love men nonetheless, or something like that, but nature more. That is very impactful, I think, because like you have people that really want to be around people all of the time. I really liked crowdiness, like noise reference, right? Whilst you have people that enjoy quietness, and I'm more kind of a guy that enjoys rest and quietness over noise and crowded place. Even though I love people, same thing. I love being at parties or somewhere where there are friends and such, family. I love that. But I would a lot of the times I would actually prefer the quietness of nature, or nature sounds, the life in nature, which is nature. Better. In the song Procession, you can see the cover. Yeah. I didn't put the link together yet, Clemens, when you said it before. But yeah, I know the cover of the book there. Renske mentioned it before because it says the title in Dutch. It must come from the Netherlands, as UK or Finland will have their own prints. Okay. So guys, I don't know if there's a lot else that I want to talk about. Are there some questions that you have, first of all, for me? I have said the most I think I want to say about the album. Different people have interpreted the Mesopotamian hymn differently. They don't all sound alike. I like Tuomas's version, not a shock. I will have to listen to that again to really know how to compare them. But yeah, guys, I went a little bit over the time that I was planning to go towards, which was 6 p.m. And right now here in Belgium, it's 6:20 p.m. And I still have to go teach some classes later tonight, so can't stay too much longer. Guys, if you don't have any questions yet anymore for me, then we're going to wrap this up. And you don't have to ask questions. Well, will you do other reactions to Nightwish? That's, of course, I will. Thanks, Green Lion. Yeah, working out is also important, right? But yeah, I will for sure do more Nightwish reactions. There are, of course, a lot of older songs that I can react to. Like I said, there are, by the time, or by this time, there are already quite a bit of live why can't I speak right now? There are already some live performances of these new of this new album, Human Nature, of course. So perhaps I can do some live reactions to some parts. I've seen that apparently they bring Ad Astra from the second CD to end their show sometimes, or did I read that wrong? I mean, that sounds like an epic ending. Don't know if it matches the ending of ending the show with the greatest show on earth, but I mean, that's a song, that's a show in itself. That's 20 minutes long. But yeah, so guys, I hope you kind of had a good time. I love the whole journey on this album, and I actually am really thinking about doing this again when Nightwish will bring a new album. Don't know when that'll be, but if there's a new album from Nightwish coming, chances are big that I might do a similar type of reactions like I did for this album, because I had a great time, and I hope you guys had too. I recommend also Thomas's The Life and Times of Scrooge, another masterpiece. Is that a song, or is that an instrumental piece? Petri, let me know. You can also recommend it in the comment section below after the live stream is done, of course. A solo album. Okay. That's interesting. Didn't know he had a solo album as well, Thomas. Okay, sounds interesting. Thanks for the recommendation. Guys, I will wrap it up right here. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't, check out some of the reactions that I've done to this album. I had a blast, and I hope you had one as well, watching my experience with this masterpiece of an album. It's in its entirety, actually. Every song has its unique points, has its every song is very good at something. For the last time, on the first CD, my favorite one was Pan, then close seconds Shoemaker, close third Music, and then on the second CD, my favorite one was Ad Astra, the second one close also Morse, and then perhaps as a third, but not too sure, Quiet as a Snow, I will say. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.